Holoenzyme is nothing but an active form of enzyme which is made up of two components, namely apoenzyme and coenzyme. Statement by Darwin, survival of the fittest, mean the most adaptable, the organisms which can adapt to the changing environmental conditions can survive. BT brinjal, as you know, it is an transgenic crop, means what? Genetically modified crop, GMO. Welcome back to part 2 of this Karnataka CET 2011 biology paper analysis. Moving on to question number 21. Pinus belongs to the class. The very word itself will tell you. Pine, having needle-like leaves. Option A, Nitopsida. Option B, Psychodopsida. Option C, Coniferopsida. And option D, Spinopsida. Pinus belongs to a group called Gymnosperms and it belongs to Coniferopsida, which contain what? Cone-bearing gymnosperms. Cone-bearing gymnosperms. Dating back to the Carboniferous period, and they are the terrestrial trees or shrubs which do not form flowers but reproduce sexually by seeds. As you know, they are naked. So as we know, the leaves are simple and often needle-like, and they may also be reduced. So pine belongs to the class Coniferopsida. So option Nitopsida is wrong. Option B, Psychodopsida is wrong. Option C, Coniferopsida is correct. Welcome back to part 2 of this Karnataka CET 2011 biology paper analysis. Moving on to question number 21. Pinus belongs to the class. The very word itself will tell you. Pine, having needle-like leaves. Option A, Nitopsida. Option B, Psychodopsida. Option C, Coniferopsida. And option D, Spinopsida. Pinus belongs to a group called Gymnosperms and it belongs to Coniferopsida, which contain what? Cone-bearing gymnosperms. Cone-bearing gymnosperms. Dating back to the Carboniferous period, and they are the terrestrial trees or shrubs which do not form flowers but reproduce sexually by seeds. As you know, they are naked. So as we know, the leaves are simple and often needle-like, and they may also be reduced. So pine belongs to the class Coniferopsida. So option Nitopsida is wrong. Option B, Psychodopsida is wrong. Option C, Coniferopsida is correct. And option D, Spinopsida is wrong. So option C is correct. Question number 22. With reference to enzymes, which one of the following statement is true? Option A, apoenzyme is equal to holoenzyme plus coenzyme. Holoenzyme is equal to apoenzyme plus coenzyme. And C, coenzyme is equal to apoenzyme plus holoenzyme. And option D, holoenzyme is equal to coenzyme minus apoenzyme. Holoenzyme is nothing but an active form of enzyme which is made up of two components, namely apoenzyme and coenzyme. So holoenzyme is equal to apoenzyme plus coenzyme. So this is the correct. Now, A, apoenzyme is equal to holoenzyme, wrong. Here holoenzyme is equal to apoenzyme plus coenzyme, correct. Here coenzyme is equal to apoenzyme plus holoenzyme, wrong. Holoenzyme is equal to coenzyme minus. So option B is correct. So option B is correct statement. Question number 23. Gametophyte is the dominant phase in the life cycle of dash. Option A, hibiscus. Option B, Nephrolepis. Option C, Cycas. And option D, Rixia. As we know, all plants and some algae species show what? Alternation of generation in the life cycle. That is, the sporophyte is the diploid generation and the gametophyte is the haploid generation, which is usually seen in plants like Rixia. So option A, hibiscus is wrong. Option B, Nephrolepis is wrong. Option C, Cycas is wrong. Option D, Rixia is correct. So option D is correct. Moving on to question number 24. In a typical Mendelian cross, which is a dihybrid cross, one parent is homozygous for both dominant traits and another parent is homozygous for recessive traits. And in the F2 generation, both parental combinations and recombinations appear. The phenotypic ratio of the parental combinations to recombination is option A 10:6, option B 12:4, and option C 9:7, and option D 15:1. So as we know, in Mendelian cross, the phenotypic ratio, the dihybrid cross ratio is what? 9:3:3:1. And here, if we cross homozygous yellow and round, that is capital Y, capital R, and green and wrinkled, that is small y, small r, then the F1 generation will be what? Heterozygote. That is capital Y, capital R, small r. And all will be what? Yellow and round, because it is heterozygote. Now, in the F1 generation, we have four kinds of gametes, that is YR, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, which when self, the result, if you go for the combinations, you will get around 10:6 phenotypic ratio. 10:6 phenotypic ratio. So the answer is option A 10:6 is correct. Option B 12:4 is wrong. Option C 9:7 is wrong. Option D 15:1 is wrong. So option E is correct. Moving on to question number 26. A balanced diet does not include option A carbohydrates and fats, nucleic acids and enzymes, and option C proteins and vitamins, and option D minerals and salts. As we know, what is balanced diet? Balanced diet is a diet which contains the components of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, everything in proportionate manner, and the nucleic acids and enzymes are not taken in the form of food, but they are synthesized by the food what we take. So nucleic acids and enzymes, we don't need them in the diet actually. They are synthesized by the body. So option A, balanced diet has carbohydrates and fats. Then do not include what? Nucleic acids and enzymes. Proteins and vitamins, correct. Then minerals and salt is wrong. So option B is correct. Moving on to 26, match the types of fruits listed in column 1 with the examples listed in column 2. Choose the answer which gives the correct combination of alphabets of the two columns. A, capsule, berry, rupe, cypsila. Column 2, paddy, mango, sunflower, tomato, lady's finger. A, capsule is lady's finger. Then B, berry is tomato. Then drupe is mango, and D, cypsila is sunflower. So A, T, B, S, C, Q, and D, R. Go for the options where you find AT. Here it is AT, here also it is A. Here A is wrong, here AP is wrong. So like for example in questions like where the match the following is asked, try to find the first option right among the four optionals, right? So AT. Go for the next one, BS. Here it is BS. Here it is BR. So this is also wrong. CQ, correct. DR. So option A is correct. Option A is correct. Moving on to question number 27. In genetic code, 61 codons code for 20 different types of amino acids. This is called, I think all of us know the property of genetic code. A, collinearity, B, commaless, C, degeneracy, and D, non-ambiguity. What is that property in genetic code? 61 codes for 20 different amino acids. This is called. As we know, the genetic code is triplet, which means usage of 3 nitrogenous bases coding for a particular amino acids. As we know, there are 20 different amino acids, but when we go for this singlet codon, doublet codon, and triplet codon system, you get 64 combinations. in triplet codon systems, which is more than sufficient to code for 20 different amino acids. So more than one codon can specify a single amino acid. So this property is called what? Degeneracy of the genetic code. So option A, collinearity, is wrong. Option B, commerce, is wrong. Option D, degeneracy, is correct. Option D, non-ambiguity, is wrong. So option C is correct. Moving on to question number 28. By the statement, survival of the fittest, Darwin meant. I think all of us know Darwin is called father of evolution, and he gave the statement like survival of the fittest. Whoever is strong and can adapt to the changing environmental conditions will survive. So option A, the strongest of all species survives. The option B, the most intelligent of the species survive. The option C, the cleverest of the species survive. The most adaptable species to changes survive. So option D is correct. What is the statement by Darwin? Survival of the fittest mean the most adaptable, the organisms which can adapt to the changing environmental conditions can survive. So option D is correct. Moving on to question number 29. Which one of the following plants is considered as lesser known species of food crops? Option A, Sophocarpus tetragonodolobus, which means winged bean. B, Sorghum vulgare, small v. It is scientific name small v. Great millet, as we know, jowar. Then Eleusine coracana, which is called ragi. Then Penicitum typhoides, which is called pearl millet. The lesser known species is ragi. That is Eleusine coracana. Why? As you know, this ragi requires growth of this crop requires a lot of water, and it is usually grown in hilly regions, and this is the one which is a lesser known species of food crops. So option A is wrong. That is Sophocarpus tetragonodolobus is wrong. Sorghum vulgare is wrong. Eleusine coracana is correct, and option D, Penicitum typhoides, is wrong. So option C is correct. Moving on to question number 30. When 2 to 3 drops of Benedict reagent are added to urine sample and heated gently, it turns yellow. This color indicates that. I think all of you might have come across the Benedict's reagent for test for glucose is done. So based on the change in the color, then we identify the percentage of glucose present in the sample, and here the sample is urine sample. Option A, urine contains 2% glucose. Option B, urine contains 0.5% glucose, and urine contains 1.5% glucose. Urine contains 1% glucose. So here it is given as what? Turns yellow. As we know, if it turns green, it is 0.1 to 0.5%, and if it turns yellow, 0.5 to 1%. Then orange, it is 1 to 1.5%. Brick red, it is 2%. So here if it is yellow, it is around 1%. So option A, urine contains 2% glucose, is wrong. Option B, urine contains 0.5% glucose, is wrong. Option C, urine contains 1.5% glucose, is wrong. Urine contains 1% glucose is correct. So option D is correct. Moving on to question number 31. BT brinjal is an example of transgenic crops. In this, BT refers to. BT brinjal, as you know, it is an transgenic crop means what? Genetically modified crop, GMO. In this, BT refers to. Option A, Bacillus tuberculosis. I think it causes what? TB. Biotechnology, you know. Beta carotene, it is a pigment, red color pigment. Usually you might have come across in carrot. Then Bacillus thuringiensis is the one. So BT refers to Bacillus thuringiensis. Option D is correct. Option A is wrong. Option B is wrong. Option C is wrong. BT stands for what? Bacillus thuringiensis. Option D is correct. Moving on to question number 32. Which one of the following is not an anti-transparent? So what is an anti-transparent? That which is used to avoid transpiration. Option A, PMA, that is phenyl mercuric acetate. Option B, BAP, that is benzyl amino purine. Then C, silicone oil, and D, low viscosity. As we know, PMA, that is phenyl mercuric acetate, is a common anti-transpirant. Transpiration can also be stopped by what? By covering the leaf with low viscosity of fluid. And silicone oil. As you know, silicone oil will also cut off the direct exposure of the stomata with the atmosphere. So all remaining among the four, all three are anti-transpirants except for BAP. So this is wrong, which is not an anti-transparent. So this is an anti-transparent, wrong, this is an anti-transparent. So option B is not an anti-transparent. Moving on to question number 33. The brain stem is made up of midbrain, pons, varoli, cerebellum, midbrain, pons, varoli, medulla oblongata. Options C, diencephalon, medulla oblongata, cerebellum, cerebellum, cerebrum, medulla oblongata. As you know, the brain stem is made up of midbrain, pons, varoli, and moving on to question number 33. The brain stem is made up of midbrain, pons varoli, and medulla oblongata. So option A, midbrain, pons, cerebellum is wrong. Option B, midbrain, pons varoli, medulla oblongata is correct. Option C, diencephalon, medulla oblongata is wrong. Option D, cerebellum, cerebrum is wrong. So as you know, the whole of the brain is divided into forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Brainstem comprises of what? Midbrain, pons varoli, and medulla oblongata. So option B is correct. Moving on to question number 34. The loosely arranged non-chlorophyllous parenchyma cells present in lenticels are called option A, complementary cells, option B, passage cells, option C, water stomata, option D, albuminous cells. As we know, lenticels are nothing but the small openings that is found in the bark, or you can also call them as the ruptured epidermal cells, and which is mainly meant for what? Gaseous exchange. Transpiration takes place also through lenticels, and 1% of transpiration takes place through lenticels. So the lenticel phylogen will give rise to large cells called complementary cells. So the loosely arranged non-chlorophyllous parenchyma cells present in lenticels are called complementary cells. Option A, complementary cells is correct. Option B, passage cells is wrong. And option C, water stomata is wrong. And option D, albuminous cell is wrong. So option A is correct. Moving on to question number 35. Column 1 contains contains terms, and column 2 contains definitions. Match them correctly and choose the right answer. So this is the term and this is the definition. So parturition, gestation, ovulation, implantation, conception, attachment of zygote to endometrium, release of egg from Graafian follicle, delivery of baby from uterus, duration between pregnancy and birth, formation of zygote by fusion of the egg and sperm, stoppage of ovulation and menstruation. Moving on to the first option. A, parturition means what? That is delivery of baby from uterus. Then gestation, duration between pregnancy and birth. Right. Then ovulation, release of egg from Graafian follicle. Then implantation, that is attachment of zygote to endometrium. Then conception is formation of zygote by fusion of the egg and the sperm. So A is R, B is yes, C is Q, D is P, and E is T. Now let us see the options. Option A, AQ, wrong. Here only first option is wrong. Here it is AS. B also is wrong. Here AT, even this option is wrong. So obviously this will be correct because AR correct, BS correct, CQ correct, DP correct, ET correct. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Moving on to question number 36. CAM pathway is observed in option A pineapple, option B maize, option C sunflower, and option D sugarcane. CAM, what does CAM stand for? Crassulacean acid metabolism. It is nothing but what? Photosynthetic pathway found primarily in succulent plants, like plants growing in dry habitats, like for example like cactus. Pineapple is also a CAM plant which grow in dry condition and are exposed to high temperature. So option A pineapple is correct, option B maize is wrong, option C sunflower is wrong, and option D sugarcane is wrong. So option A is the right answer. Moving on to question number 37. The number of ATP molecules produced when a molecule of glucose undergoes fermentation is option A 4, option B 36, option C 2, and option D 38. As we know, the chemical breakdown of glucose in absence of oxygen is called as what? Fermentation. And in this reaction, two ATP molecules are generated during the conversion of glucose to pyruvate. So 2 is the answer. So here 2 ATP molecules. So option A 4 is wrong, option B 36 is wrong, option C 2 is correct, and option D 38 is wrong. So option C is correct. Moving on to question number 38. Silk produced by Anthera mylitta is also called option A Muga silk, option B Tassar silk, option C Eri silk, and D Mysore silk. As we know, we have different types of silk based on the silkworm like Muga silk, Eri silk, Tassar silk, and Mysore silk. So this silk produced by Anthera mylitta. Anthera mylitta is a moth family. Is commonly called as what? Called as silkworm. Tassar silkworm. So this species is commonly domesticated in India and used for the production of silk called Tassar silk, which is used for making various clothing. So it is Tassar silkworm. So Tassar silk, it is used for making of Tassar silk. So option A Muga silk is wrong, option B Tassar silk is correct, option C Eri silk is wrong, option D Mysore silk is wrong. So option B is correct. Moving on to question number 39. Which of the following hormone is a steroid? Option A estrogen, option B insulin, option C glucagon, and option D thyroxine. As we know, steroid hormones are the hormones which are derived from cholesterol and lipid molecules. Usually you can give the examples for steroid hormones is the sex hormones like androgens, estrogen, and progesterone. So among the 4 options, which is the sex hormone here? Estrogen. Option A is correct. It is no, wrong. Insulin, glucagon. You know, insulin and glucagon are pancreatic hormones which help in regulating the glucose level. Option D, thyroxine, is wrong. So option A is correct. Moving on to question number 40. More men suffer from color blindness than women because option A, women are more resistant to disease than men. Option B, the male sex hormone testosterone causes the disease. And option C, the color blind gene is carried on the Y chromosome. And option D, men are hemizygous and one defective gene is enough to make them colorblind. As we know, color blindness is an X-linked inheritance and it is a recessive disorder where men are hemizygous, which means they have a single copy of X chromosome. So here, hence, even if one X chromosome which is defective, if it is present in male, then they will be color blind. Whereas in female, one X chromosome is sufficient, but 2 X chromosomes which is defective should be present in females, and usually they are the carriers. So option A, women are more resistant, is wrong. The male sex hormone causes the disease is wrong. The colorblind gene is carried on Y chromosome is wrong. Men are hemizygous and one defective gene is option D is correct. Hope you have understood the 40 questions in this Karnataka CET biology paper analysis. So I'll be back with the last 20 questions, that is the part 3 of this session. Till then, stay tuned.